Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Another day fasting, today dry fasting, and I just wanted to share with you guys today some of the deeper levels that I do this for. And this is what I'm talking about is the emotional balancing that goes on when you fast and when you do any type of cleansing. There's a lot of emotional turmoil going on inside of us that we don't face when we're eating and when we're consuming all these dense foods, like animal products and cooked foods. This is to suppress emotional things that we don't want to deal with. So when a lot of people go into the raw foods, they immediately feel emotional distress because they're all of a sudden they're more aware of their emotions and they're not being bogged down by these dense foods that's making them not face these things. And it's interesting because a lot of people will go back to cooked foods because they're scared of the emotions being brought out by the raw foods and the fruits and the fasting experience. A lot of people don't even go that far, But really, if you really want to get cleansed on a deep level and you really want to heal, forget the physical. The physical is a tool that we use to get to the underlying issue, which is really all emotional, right? It's emotional. It's that thing that your dad told you when you were 7 years old, that he yelled at you and told you weren't worth anything, or that time your mom hit you because of something little that you did because she was having her own emotional crisis, or that argument that you had with a brother or sister when you were younger, and that resentment that you've held on and that perception that you've had of them since that time. If we don't face it, it all stays with us, and we suppress it and suppress it and suppress it, and it builds up inside of us for years and decades and for our whole life if we never deal with it, and we become these bitter people, and it just keeps weighing us down, and it creates all sort of illnesses and obstructions inside of us. But if you really want to clear that out and you want to become the best version of yourself, I really recommend that you go deep into the fasting and deep into things like dry fasting and the cleansing. Not all right away, of course. If you're still coming from a standard American diet, of course you want to steadily ease into this, because you're gonna have a lot of difficulty going into this because it's not easy. It's not easy to shift your world into a world that's become more real. A lot of this world that these people are living, it's not real. It's a lot of suppressed emotions going on, a lot of fake things, a lot of materialism, consumerism. And the more you start to simplify your life, and that's why I like this whole raw foods, kind of like eating fruits and fasting approach, is because it's simple. It's really simple. You don't need to have a PhD. You don't need to have a degree in a culinary degree or anything like that. It's simple. You just get some fruit, you eat it, or you don't. You get some water, you drink it, or you don't. Like right now, I'm just dry fasting, not doing anything at all. And that's the most powerful tools that I have found. They're completely free. They're accessible to everybody and anybody who wants to venture and try this healing themselves, on their own terms and at their own pace. Of course, you have to be smart about it, and you have to be knowledge with your own body and get to know yourself and become aware of yourself. Most people, they're not aware of themselves. They don't even know what's going on inside their bodies. They get these feelings in their stomach that they don't even address. They eat something and it makes them feel sick, and then next week they're eating it again, because they're not conscious of what they should be doing with their bodies. So like I was saying about the emotional body, you have to go deeper and deeper into it if you really want to get the underlying issue. That's why the whole fasting thing is so powerful for me, because it leaves nowhere to run. Where are you gonna hide? You can't hide behind food. You're not stuffing yourself. You have to face the demons that are out inside of you, have been lodged in there, that have been hiding in there, that have been suppressed for so long. All of a sudden you have to face them, and it's not easy, it's not pretty, it's not the best thing ever, but after you get over it, it will be. You'll be a better version of yourself for facing those demons and forgiving your parents and forgiving your brothers and forgiving your sisters and forgiving your neighbor and everybody, and then that all of a sudden that won't matter anymore. You know, that won't affect you on a day-to-day basis, and you won't be bogged down by all those emotions. You know, all of a sudden you'll be a more free person, and you'll be able to really pursue your life goals and what you came here to do without having to be so judgmental about it, about what other people are doing, because it's not aligning with what you're doing. You know, everybody's on a different path, and that's what we have to understand, that not everybody is going to be a raw fruitarian, or at the same time, just because you want it to happen. You know, not everybody's going to be vegan because you found it out that it works for you, or that it's a step in your path. And I understand the concern, but everybody is going at their own pace and doing what they think is right at that time, you know, and they might get into it later. So, you know, you just got to be compassionate and share what you're doing, and show them that it's working for you, and show them that you're spreading love through it, you know. And once you get those emotional, like, a lot of people have like deep emotional issues that they're not addressing with, even like in the veganism, like people who are throwing buckets of blood at people because they're not vegan, and because they don't have the understanding yet that maybe they shouldn't be wearing fur. They really have some deep emotional things to deal with, really, because that's just so clear to me that they're lashing out, doing this aggressive thing that's not going to convert anybody. Instead, it's going to create animosity, but they're doing it because they have underlying emotions that they haven't dealt with. And the sooner we start dealing with these things, the better off we're going to be. Really, it's really going to matter a lot less what you're eating, and it's going to be a lot more about what you're thinking and spreading, and the love that you're sharing. But the reality is, most people aren't going to go back to the other foods once they clear out their emotional issues, because they're not going to have a need to, because they're not going to have anything to suppress anymore, you know. And it's a lot of work, and it takes time, and you got to be dedicated, and you got to want it, and you got to be looking at it for the long run. You can't be thinking about it short term. There's got to be a long lifetime lifestyle that you got to be willing to undertake. And really, there's like a community of people. There's a lot of people out here doing this. You're not alone. You know, that's what I just want to tell you. You're not alone. You know, like, if you ever need some type of support, there's going to be some type of support out there for you. And that's what I really want you to understand, that it's going to be a long mission to try to accomplish this goal, which is of healing the human race, ultimately healing us individually and as a collective, not even from this lifetime, but past generation lifetimes, and our ancestors, and all the damage that have gone undertaken from all the wars and all the turmoil and all the families and all the breakups and all the disagreements. That all gets passed down from your parents and your grandparents to you, and then you are dealing with this heavy load that you're not dealing with, really, if you're suppressing it with food, any type of food at any level. Of course, work your way down to raw foods, to fruits, and then water fasting, and then dry fasting, and doing whatever you have to do to face those demons and really heal yourself. And that's the only way I think we'll ever be the best version of ourselves and be this happy, you know, vital person, is if we face these underlying emotions that are the root cause of all these diseases and illnesses, and are really hurting us the most at the cellular level, far more than all these foods could ever do. It's really the emotions that we have to face, and then really we'll be balanced enough to come at life from a whole different level of understanding. So if you've tried everything and you're still struggling, or if you think you've tried everything, you're still struggling with a lot of things, I really encourage you to go into doing this emotional work through things like water fasting and dry fasting, and just working your way down to that, you know, to really face these emotions and clear out the underlying issue. Okay, so that's the message I wanted to share with you guys today. And I hope you guys have the best day ever and keep doing the work. Alright, see you guys.